Hello there, Severum17 once again. This is the finale of my Sekiro Immortal Severance walkthrough. We are talking to Emma and finding out that unfortunately Ishin has passed away. It's going to get us the secret passage key, which once we go out this window, we're going to be able to make our path towards where we'll be able to use it. And the area where we're going to use it is quite a nostalgic one for us because it's where the game began. It's come full circle for a poetic final stanza to the game. So we're going to be traversing the rooftops here. As you can see, absolute hell has broken loose. There is currently a war kicking off, and we're not going to have too much to do with it. We're going to be going directly to where we need to go, and it's going to lead us to the final boss of the game. We're going to be using one of the memories for extra attack power that I haven't quite used just yet, and we're going to be taking on the ending of Immortal Severance. The boss for this is probably the hardest boss in the game, in many ways. I personally don't think it is, but I think mechanically it kinda has to be, because it's 4 fights in a row. It is a single fight against Genichiro, followed by a 3-phase fight against Ishin. And 2 of the phases of Ishin utilise a spear that seems to give a lot of people online a lot of problems. The final phase itself is kind of a waste in my opinion. It's like an undeserved whoring of Genichiro's moveset on a pre-existing boss. But the end of this game does a fantastic job of cuckolding Genichiro, because not only does it ruin him by making you face him every time you want to do the next phase if you fail, but it also then just completely ruins all of his credibility by giving his moveset to the other boss. And it's really unfortunate, because I personally think that the Genichiro is one of the better characters in the game. But moving forward here into the final passage is going to lead into the first boss of this gauntlet coming up. And Genichiro is somebody that you're going to come to know very well, and depending on how much you like him by the end of this will be dictated by how long you're here. So at the beginning he always likes to charge his big powerful black blade. From there you want to proceed to attack him with whatever you've got, and it's pretty much similar to all the other stuff. The only maybe new addition that you might not have seen before is when he jumps up in the air like that, if he does a move afterwards with no perilous symbol, it means it's going to be a mid that will hit you if you jump, so do not jump. And now we have a little bit of a segment. This is not actually the fight at the end, but this is the boss that we're about to take on. This is Ishin the Sword Saint, a very, very difficult boss for a lot of people, and a couple of things to bear in mind against this guy that I might not get too much chance to talk about once the fight kicks off. But the general strategy for this boss is to put as much pressure on him as you can. And what will happen is you will get into these hit strings with Ishin where his moves are really slow. Most of his moves are slow, but the moves that he interrupts you with when he parries you, those moves are fast. One of them can knock you down as well, and it's very dangerous. You're going to see quite a close encounter for me as well. But once you get his first life bar off, you can then continue to put pressure on him, and he will not summon the spear. If done correctly, you can kill this boss without him ever getting his spear, which he just did here in this footage of a different fight before I got the recording. What happens is, if you can keep him doing his moves and keep pressure on him, he never triggers it. However, if you miss your Makiri counter, if you miss your Senpu kicks or your High Monk, he will pull the spear out afterwards almost every time. And then additionally, if you give him too much space, if you don't engage him to keep his pathing and his scripting on attacking you, he will just pull the spear out and then you'll have to face it. It's just kind of how it works. But if you're aggressive enough and if you're smart enough with your play, you can keep this boss in the first phase and completely circumnavigate the things that you do not enjoy. And it will make it a much easier fight for you. Couple things to bear in mind. When he does his double Ichimonji at the end of his base combo, if you attack him as he does the second one, usually if you interrupt it, he will not pull the spear out, but oftentimes, if you're too late, he pulls the spear out anyway. And the final fight that I'm going to do here, guys, is going to utilise the technique of skipping phases, and it's also going to have a bit of spear in there as well. But just in case you don't get to see spear in your fight, or you see too much spear, what I wanted to do is slow down some moves for some opportunities to punish, to give you an idea of how to approach him. Being aggressive against Ishin is really good, but you need to understand that if you attack him too much, he will armor through your moves and hit you and you'll trade. And because I was trying to do this without getting hit, it means that being overly aggressive can lead to moments where you cannot get away from damage. and it's unfortunate, but it's just how he works. When he has the spear, he has these wonderful abilities to just jump away mid-combo when you're hitting him, and it can be very tedious. But the moves are coming up in a moment, guys, and I'm going to show you all the opportunities to do a perilous attack and how to get some good damage on him while only punishing a rare amount of moves. And the theory is quite simple. You want to bait his jump that he just did, and then you want to punish whatever he does after the jump. And at mid to long range, he will always jump. That's one of the things he loves to do, and this is another opening too. So if you're watching this, you're seeing a lot of the stuff I'm going to be slowing down in a moment, but it's giving you an idea of what you can use. Because there are so many openings here, there are so many ways to fight this, and this boss has a reputation online that it really does not deserve. The only reason you know it so well is because the fact it has no checkpoints. But here's his jumping mid-attack. After you parry this and you're close, he'll shoot his gun. After he shoots his gun, he'll sweep. So you can use this as an opportunity to hit him with the jumping attack or with the senpu kicks. At mid-range, he goes into his one attack, into swinging the lance, into his Mikiri. So if you counter this, you can get a nice bit of posture damage and attack him a few times. Here is the same combo. He's got this full combo that he does, and sometimes he cancels it into a big twirl. On the big twirl, if you jump off him, you can get above it and then start attacking him as you come down. If you do not bounce off him, you'll get hit. It has a massive hitbox. This is the same combo, but he doesn't cancel it. You can parry all of these if you're confident, or you can get out of its range, wait for the final hit, and then do the Mikiri counter. The Mikiri counter is the biggest piece of damage you can do. And then this is super important, guys. Whenever he does that particular elemental move, he will oftentimes pull his gun. After he pulls his gun, he will mix you up with either a sweep or a thrust, counter it appropriately, and destroy him. But here we go. Come Sekiro. The famous last words of a god who is about to die. So, he begins with his charge move. If you sprint to his left, he cannot hit you. If he does the other move where he dashes forward and sweeps, cancel out of your sprint into the senpu kicks and punish him. This is it right here. Exactly what I said. If you land that correctly, you'll do incredible damage. And then afterwards, this is where it gets really scary. Fortunately though, when he hits you like that, it's like the knockdowns that you can get where they don't do damage. So, I nearly died on that moment, but what can you do? Mikiri counter that. And then we just keep pressure on him. Pressure on him. What does he do? Run to his left. Do the sweep punish. This is going to miss. Oh no, it didn't. Interesting. I thought it missed on this run. Probably a different run. So there goes the second phase. Keep pressure on him. What does he do? He tries to swing. What does he do? Mikiri. Does this miss? Here he goes. He's going to pull his spear. Because that Mikiri counter did not trigger correctly, we see the third phase. So I'm going to buff immediately, and I'm going to bait those moves I've just showcased. The AI gets a bit buggy though when you skip the phases, so he fucks off and does whatever this is. I'm not entirely certain. There's an elemental move. After this he will dash forward very quickly. Be very careful of that. And then all we're baiting is this. Parry, what does he do? Parry again, what does he do? He charges a different move, run to the side of it, get a hit, get away. What does he do? Goes into his big combo. Does he charge his weapon? No, he doesn't. We can Mikiri counter this. Go forward. Boom. Hits the ground. Hit him a few times. What does he do? There it is. Boom. Goes for his quick attack. Jumps away with elemental damage. Does he pull the gun? He does. What does it mix up? Is it the sweep? Is it the thrust? It's the thrust. Punish the thrust. What do we do next? Hit him a few times. Where does he go? He backs away. Jumps again. He's going to dash again after this. Here he comes. I nearly get fucked by a tree. What's next? Standard combo. Reset. What does Ishin do? Watch him. The lightning is not a threat. Here's the jump. Parry. Parry the gun. Does he sweep? He does not. He charges again. We're getting trolled. This is not a good pattern at all. This guy could have been dead 20 seconds ago. There's his Ichimonji. Be very careful. He can cancel into a jump from that. There's the gun. There's the sweep. There's the other one. Does he do the Mikiri? He does not. We're too far away. Standard move. Back away from it. What does he do? Jump. Parry. What does he do next? Parry the gun. Does he do it's over. Oh, it's not over. Interesting. Could have been over. Be careful coming out of that full Mikiri kicks like that. The high monk kicks. I said Mikiri kicks. That's not what they are. You know what I meant. He will always generally do a very fast slash that you have to cancel the recovery of your kicks to parry. Here is his Mikiri, and he gives it us. Very close to being dead now. Couple more hits. What does he do? Takes a few hits. Do we get the parry? Charges. Kick off him. Boom. As long as you kick off him, you're safe. And there you go, guys. Thank you for watching. You take care now.
There can be only one.